These are all of the fights to make after UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal 2, and I've got all of the key players from that card on the screen right now. I've got some of the winners on the left-hand side, some of the losers on the right-hand side, and then across the bottom, we've got Anthony Smith, Randy Brown, and Uriah Hall. I feel like these are all the guys I need to cover right now from that card, so let's find some future matchups for these people, because they need to be matched up with, and we need activity right now. We need amazing events just like UFC 261. More often. I've got all of their future opponents hidden off screen. I'm going to slowly reveal them as the video goes on, but let's waste no more time and get straight into things. There are a lot of variables here as well, so don't take what I'm saying here as finalized, because a lot of things could change. We know that in this sport, but I'm going to slowly give you guys who I believe these guys should be taking on next in their career. Moving on to the start of the video. Colby Covington, in my opinion, is the only man possible to give Kamaru Usman a challenge right now in the welterweight division. Now, there are some other guys at play. Stephen Thompson is taking on Gilbert Burns in July. You've got Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz in May. Any of those bouts could fall out. Any of those bouts could go another way, where Gilbert Burns maybe beats Stephen Thompson, and then that would change some things. But Colby Covington, in my opinion, as of right now, deserves to be the man to take on Kamaru Usman. And the UFC have also said that Covington is the next opponent for Kamaru Usman, so there's really no say I have in this one, other than the fact that if Usman wants to stay active, we should definitely make this bout in August. I think August is the perfect date for this one. Ngannou versus Derek Lewis 2 as the main event. Usman versus Covington 2 as the co-main event. You don't even need a rest of a card. That's done. You can put anything you want on the rest of the card. So long as those two fights are on there, the card is absolutely finalized and done. But I feel like that's the next opponent for Kamaru Usman. If he wants to stay active, if he doesn't want to stay active, then I guess we could do the winner of Burns versus Thompson if it's Thompson in December or something like that, and give Colby Covington a different opponent in the meantime. Or maybe the winner of Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz, if it's Leon Edwards towards the end of the year. But if Usman wants to stay active, which he says he does, let's not waste any time. We can get everyone their title shot right now if we stay active. Let's do Usman versus Covington 2 in August. The winner of that one, hopefully it's Usman, so we can continue with the division because he wants to stay more active. Or Covington, I don't even mind. We can have them at the end of the year against maybe Stephen Thompson if he beats Gilbert Burns, or maybe Edwards if he beats Nate Diaz. But anything could go wrong in those bouts, and Diaz or Burns could win, even though I doubt both of those things. But Burns has a legit chance against Stephen Thompson, so anything could go wrong. I don't want to keep Usman on ice while we wait to see what happens with these matchups, when we could just make him versus Covington right now, while we've got all of the momentum and hype off of that fight with Jorge Masvidal. Usman took no damage whatsoever against Jorge Masvidal. Let's get him right back in there in August against Colby Covington, and let's get everyone their title shot. I like Leon Edwards, but I feel like Covington's going to get it because, again, Nate Diaz is not a title elimination bout. I'm sick of it. Moving on to someone else who had a great win this past weekend at UFC 261. Rose Namajunas got a great win against Zhang Weili, a big finish in the first round, and I feel like her next opponent should be Carla Esparza, who has a matchup with Yan Xiaonan. So I'm not saying that's finalized right now. I'm just picking who I would rather win that one in terms of storyline to take on Rose Namajunas for the belt. I would not mind a Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili rematch. I think that fight plays out completely differently the second time around, just like Jędrzejczyk versus Namajunas as well. I also feel as though, maybe we should keep Rose Namajunas active, and maybe that should be the August card. I don't know when Yan Xiaonan versus Carla Esparza is happening, but if they can turn around quick enough, Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou 2 in the main event, Usman versus Covington 2 in the co-main event, and then Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza in the feature fight. I don't care about the rest of the card if that's the card that's happening. Either way, I doubt that's going to be that soon, because we've got to see what happens in the Yan Xiaonan versus Carla Esparza bout. But if Carla Esparza wins, or if Yan Xiaonan wins, I guess we could do Capitalism versus Communism Part 2. Who knows? But if Carla Esparza wins, she has a win over Rose Namajunas. It's a rematch. There's some storyline there. She beat Rose Namajunas in the Ultimate Fighter finale. She's the only strawweight champion Rose Namajunas is yet to beat in the UFC strawweight division. This would solidify legacy, yada yada yada. You know the storyline. Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza would be quite interesting, but if Yan Xiaonan wins as well, I guess we can do that one against Rose Namajunas in the meantime. I don't want to see a rematch between her and Weili Zhang, just because Zhang's going to be off for a little while because she did get concussed, and I kind of want to keep Rose Namajunas active because she literally took no damage whatsoever other than some inside leg kicks. Moving on up the card, Zhang, what's her name? Sorry, Valentina Shevchenko. And we'll get to the Masvidals in a second here, but Valentina Shevchenko needs an opponent in the flyweight division, and I've forgotten who this was. Oh yes, it's Joanne Calderwood. She has a bout with Lauren Murphy coming up soon. I know this is a little bit anticlimactic, I'm sorry. But she has a bout with Lauren Murphy coming up soon. I know that no one cares about this fight or what happens next in the women's flyweight division because Shevchenko's just going to beat them because she's actually a decently good fighter, which none of them else are in that flyweight division, but that's okay. We can just keep funneling lambs up for the slaughter for Valentina Shevchenko. Joanne Calderwood, I believe, is going to beat Lauren Murphy, most likely. I guess we could do that matchup, even though she lost to Jennifer Maia, so it literally makes no sense whatsoever, because we know that she's not going to win, because she's worse than a girl that was enough to lose to Valentina Shevchenko. Like, it's... But whatever! Right, guys? It's funny. It's fun. The flyweight division in the women's divisions is fun. There's so many contenders. I can't wait to see this next matchup. Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanne Calderwood, because I think she beats Lauren Murphy. But if Lauren Murphy somehow wins, I guess we could do her versus... It's a fresh matchup, you know? Moving on. Rapidly, quick time, to Jorge Masvidal, another guy who needs an opponent after that fight at UFC 261. I don't want to see him have a quick turnaround because he did get completely Shadow Realmified. Let's be real, because he invented the Shadow Realm, and then he became one with the Shadow Realm eventually as well. I think he needs to take a little bit of time off, so we're waiting for a winner or a loser of a bout coming up, and I think that winner is Leon Rocky Edwards. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that Leon Edwards is going to say, Dana White said I'll fight for the title. If he wins the fight against Nate Diaz, the fight for the title shot. I get it, Leon Edwards. You want to fight for the title shot. You're not going to get the title shot after beating Nate Diaz. If Wonderboy beats Gilbert Burns, Covington's already been told that he's getting a title shot, and you beat Nate Diaz, you're not going to get a title shot in the welterweight division. So in my opinion, the next best thing for Leon Edwards' career would be to keep fighting these big names, use the momentum, get a whole bunch of star power, increase your Instagram followers, get a real nice payday as well while you're at it against Jorge Masvidal for about $500,000 to show or something like that. Let's make the fight happen. If he does beat Nate Diaz, or if Nate Diaz beats Leon Edwards, which I highly doubt, I mean, really, I don't see any single way possible that Nate Diaz can beat Leon Edwards, but it could happen. I say if Leon Edwards beats Nate Diaz, we can make the Jorge Masvidal bout maybe at the end of the year in November. I am just, I know people are angry because Covington, he beat Woodley and Woodley was on losing streak, but Woodley was still like a top 7 guy in the UFC. And when Colby fought Maia, he was number 1. And when Colby fought RDA, he was number 1. Like, I don't think Nate Diaz, unranked at welterweight, with literally nothing to say for himself in the welterweight division, is a title elimination bout to see if you're ready for Kamaru Usman. Just me? I'm not too sure. So if Edwards does beat Nate Diaz and does it in good enough fashion, let's just make him versus Masvidal. The storyline is there. We can have it as the co-main event for 5 rounds in a pay-per-view fight. I want to see the fight happen, and then the winner of that one can maybe get back in a title picture if it's Leon Edwards. If it's Masvidal, maybe he can see if Covington loses to Usman in the meantime. Then we could do Masvidal coming off a win against Edwards versus Covington coming off a loss against Usman on the next season of The Ultimate Fighter next year. Who knows? I feel like Leon Edwards versus Masvidal is a good fight to make next. And if Nate Diaz wins, then equally Nate Diaz versus Masvidal 2 would, I guess, make some sense in that welterweight division. Other than that, if I was Jorge Masvidal, the only reason I haven't done this is because I know it will never happen. Masvidal easily beat Michael Chiesa. Please, just go and do it right now. Immediately. This won't happen, which is why I can't make it in this video. Call out Michael Chiesa. Easily destroy him because he has no idea what he's doing with himself. He has no hand-eye coordination whatsoever, and you've got good takedown defense. Go out there and just immediately destroy Michael Chiesa for a free win, get back in the mix, and then start looking for your title elimination bout. Just me, I'm not too sure. I think it's a great matchup for Masvidal, and he's beaten him already before. But Leon Edwards, in my opinion, is going to be the next fight for Jorge Masvidal in that welterweight division. Moving on to another loser on the card. Zhang Weili lost to Rose Namajunas by KO. Let's give her a little bit of time off, but I feel like the next opponent for Zhang Weili should be... Go fight, go Anthony Pettis, go 2 week, 5 week, go fight. I love it. Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dos Dernos, I think we should start calling her from now on because she's getting more Brazilian by the day, for fuck's sake. Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern. China versus Brazil. Two ethnic people from those areas. You've got the ethnic Chinese woman, you've got the ethnic Brazilian woman. Otherwise, why else would she fucking sound like that? Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern. Great matchup. Let's make it happen. I'm down with that. I would love to see a Rose Namajunas Zhang Weili rematch, but I understand that if we do that, Zhang's got to wait a longer time than Rose Namajunas has, and we're just going to be waiting 6 months with Rose Namajunas with no damage whatsoever, for no reason for whatsoever. I just feel like we need to get Rose Namajunas active, get more champions on these cards, because whenever there are free fights on a title card, or whenever there are free title fights on a card, it just feels like they're way better in general. Like the anticipation is there. It just looks like a pay-per-view card if there are free title fights. Let's get these champions active. Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern, I formerly matched her up with Marina Rodriguez. I guess we could do Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson instead. And then Mackenzie Dern can get a jump up the rankings against Zhang Weili in the main event of a pay-per-view. Not a pay-per-view, sorry. In the main event of a fight night, maybe in China towards the end of the year. Maybe they go back to Beijing or something like that, and we can do Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern as the main event, because Zhang Weili, whether you like her or not, is the biggest Chinese name in the sport right now, so we definitely need her to main event some of those Chinese cards. Let's do that, and if Zhang Weili wins, then we can maybe talk about a rematch down the line. But other than that, right now, Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern, great matchup to make, and it's a good fight as well. They both got a lot of followers. It'll be a big name fight. Yeah, let's get things going in the women's strawweight division. Moving on, Jessica Andrade lost to Valentina Shevchenko. I feel like her opponent should be Claudia Gadelha. She is too small for flyweight. Let's just say it how it is. I know she beat Caitlin Chookagian, and I know that she could probably go on and beat many other women in that division as well. But, like, let's just do her down at strawweight because she's so small for the flyweight division. I don't think she's a flyweight. Let's be real here. You know what I mean? We need a little bit more of people her size. She's already beaten Claudia Gadelha as well previously in her career. Beat her by decision, and it was quite a good win as well. It was a good fight as well, actually. Quite a fun scrap. I feel like Claudia Gadelha versus Jessica Andrade, the rematch is the fight that needs to be made back down in the strawweight division, because guess what, Jessica Andrade? The girl you just took to a split decision and beat before that is now the champion. Not the girl that destroyed you in one round. So she's actually got a decent pathway back to the top of the women's strawweight division, and there's actually some storyline behind a trilogy between her and Rose Namajunas. So if she does go in there and beat Claudia Gadelha, maybe she can take on the winner of Zhang versus Mackenzie Dern, and then we can give the winner of that a title shot. Who knows? Jessica Andrade versus Claudia Gadelha 2, the rematch. Make it happen. Co-main event of a fight night. Prelim of a pay-per-view. I don't even care. Make the fight happen. Moving on to Anthony Smith, who also had a really good win on the card. We'll buzz through these last three right now. Anthony Smith, in my opinion, should take on Magomed Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division. He said he wants to get back to fighting top contenders. I understand Anthony Smith, but right now, none of them are free. I guess he could wait for the loser of Reyes Prochaska, but I feel like the winner at... The problem with Anthony Smith beating Jimmy Crute is that he wanted a top contender next, but Santos, that doesn't make sense. Santos is on a losing streak. I feel like Santos should take on like Nikita Krylov or someone else who's on a losing streak right now or coming off a loss in the division. I guess they could make the Smith-Santos rematch. I'm not too sure, but I don't want that. I want winners facing winners. I want losers facing losers, especially in the light heavyweight division right now. We need to build some momentum. I say Smith versus Ankalaev is the fight to make next. I feel like Smith actually could probably beat Ankalaev. His jab was looking really good in that Jimmy Crute fight, and then we could do Smith versus Ankalaev. I think that's a great matchup to make. Main card of a pay-per-view coming up soon, maybe in September, maybe October, who knows, somewhere near the end of the year. And then the winner of this one can start looking towards maybe the loser of Teixeira versus Blachowicz if they're still going to be fighting at that time. But right now, Rakic is there. He's going to be fighting the winner of Reyes versus Prochaska. I feel like the top of the division is really obvious to match up, and chucking Smith in there against one of them, I feel like would just ruin all of it. And I feel like Smith needs to face Magomed Ankalaev, because as much as he beat Jimmy Crute, it wasn't like the big, whoa, he's back, you know what I mean? He did look good, and he won the first round, and he landed that leg kick, but it wasn't like the big, you know what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying there. But you get it. I think we need to see Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev. Moving on to the right-hand side here, we've got Uriah Hall, who needs a matchup right now, and I think his matchup should be Jack Hermansson, who I believe is going to be beating Edmund Shabazian coming up very soon. Very soon indeed, but if I was Uriah Hall right now, I'd stay in shape. We've got a bunch of middleweight fights coming up. You've got Marvin Vettori versus Israel Adesanya in June. You've got Jack Hermansson versus Edmund Shabazian in May. I feel like we should look for that matchup. I know that he's probably not going to want to take too much time off, so let's try and get the winner of Hermansson versus Shabazian on a very quick turnaround, maybe 4 months, maybe 3 months against Uriah Hall. I know Uriah Hall wants top contenders. I know he calls out Israel Adesanya. You just haven't fucking done enough yet, okay? You haven't beaten top contenders. You just beat Chris Weidman. I think that was his first win inside the top 15, or anyone who is currently still inside the top 15. He had a win. I think he should just be very thankful that he got his win bonus without having to do any work whatsoever, because it was basically a fluky situation. The leg snapped completely. Uriah Hall versus a winner of Hermansson versus Shabazian, which I believe is going to be Hermansson. And then Randy Brown is also in the mix, and he needs an opponent, so I think he should be taking on a man by the name of Nicholas Dalby, because why fucking not? There's nothing else to really talk about with that matchup. It just makes a bit of sense. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Goodbye. I'll see you later. These are all the matchups I want to see made. No offense, Uriah Hall. I just think he needs one more against the winner of Hermansson Shabazian in the main event of a fight night, and then we can maybe give him the loser of Vettori Adesanya, or maybe like a winner of Costa Cannonier or something like that. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.